lesson should be a review of 5th grade. So 26 multiplying fractions. Ethan, do you want to get the light? Okay, and then turn to your next blank page. Title it Multiplying Fractions. Alright, so we're going to start with a whole number times a fraction. So let's say we have 2 times 3/5. Turn and talk. How would you multiply this? And stop, raise your hand to share. I heard a lot of good answers. Let's see. Maria, how would you do it?
You transform 2 into a fraction by doing 2 over 1.
So I overheard several kids say you have to change that whole number into a fraction. Good job. So we have 2 whole, which is literally 2 over 1, times 3/5. Now what do I do? What is my next step? Joey.
So then you just multiply fractions like normal.
What is like normal? I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
So you have to figure out a denominator to 1, and see what 1 and 5 can go into, and then
Oh, I'm not adding or subtracting. I don't need a common denominator. Tyler, what should I do?
Don't you do 1 times 5 times 3?
You just multiply straight across. Everybody with 2 times 3.
6.
And 1 times 5. Okay, so we are in 6th grade now. Can we leave our answer as an improper fraction? No. So Kyle, what do we need to do?
You need to know how many times 5 goes into 6.
How many?
1, so that 1 is your whole number, and then you still have 1 left over, so it's 1/5.
Good job. So literally we're saying we have 6/5. How many fifths are in one whole? Sophie.
Wait, so, isn't there one?
So if I have 6/5, I want to know how many fifths equals 1.
Oh, 1.
No, Murdoch.
5.
5. Remember 5/5 is a whole, and then we'd have 1/5 left over. That's just another way to think about it. Okay, so we have our first way here, which we could put a number 1 by that, which was a whole number times a fraction. We also have fractions times fractions. So for example, you might have 5/8 times 1/3. Turn and talk. How would you solve this one? And stop. What did you get? How do we do this? Emery. Alright, we just multiply straight across. 5 times 1 is?
5.
8 times 3?
4.
Okay, what's next? Johanna. Good. There's no way to reduce this one, is there? Right. Okay, a third way, or not a third way, but a third type of problem. Joey, if you keep talking, you're going to owe me a lot of cool cash. Okay, third type is when we have mixed numbers. For example, you might have 2 4/5 times 3 1/8. Turn and talk. How do you solve this? And stop. Raise your hand to share. Selma.
You just multiply it like we did and then we multiply
So, I just take my whole numbers and multiply them? Maybe. A lot of kids want to take the whole numbers and multiply them, but let's think if that really makes sense. Because up here, I couldn't multiply by a whole number. I had to change that to a fraction. Trey.
Yep. We make it improper fractions by multiplying the denominator and adding the numerator. Yep.
Okay, so some people might call it, you might have to have the fractions do a backflip or somersault. But what we do is 5 times 2 is plus 4, and I keep my denominator. So this is essentially 14 fifths. If I think about that logically, I'm talking about fifths here, right?
Yeah.
Well, how many fifths are in 2 wholes? Well, 5 fifths are in 1 whole, so 10 fifths are in 2, plus these 4. So this is really 14 fifths times, well, now I got to do another backflip. 8 times 3 is? Plus 1. And what is my denominator? Okay, now, this is something some of you guys were pointing out on Friday. So now I'm looking, and I've got some pretty big numbers to multiply, don't I? Who knows the shortcut so that you can actually simplify before you multiply? Oh, who remembers? Who remembers? Dominic?
Don't you do the butterflies?
No, the butterfly is for comparing. Okay. Think back to last year. I don't know, Eliza, did we take notes on it last year? I'm not sure. Emily?
Oh, like I remember last year, like how we would use the 2 numbers and you would go like, how many times is 5 going to 25?
So we're going to cross cancel. I guess it is kind of like the butterfly, isn't it? Cross cancel. So do 5 and 25 have a number in common?
Yes.
What is it?
5.
So then I say to myself, 5 goes into 5 once. 5 goes into 25 5 times. Then I loop the other way. I like this looping thing. 8 and 14. What do they have in common? Raise your hand. What do they have in common? Sophie.
4.
4 doesn't go into 14 evenly. Elizabeth. 2. When in doubt, if both numbers are even, divide them by 2. So 8 divided by 2 is?
4.
14 divided by 2 is?
7.
Okay, now I can multiply straight across, and I've saved myself some time. So what is 7 times 5?
35.
And what is 1 times 4?
4.
So I have 35 fourths. Am I done?
No.
What do I need to do? Jackson Kennedy.
Rock.
Yes. So in this case, it's going to be a mixed number. So I think of it this way. The 35 is too heavy, so it falls over. So 35 divided by 4. Trey, what do we get?
8.
8. So we know 4 goes into 35 8 times with 3/4. We keep our denominator. There is our answer. Okay, so those are your 3 types of multiplying fractions that you're going to run into today and tomorrow. So we are going to work on that at teacher group and in all of our rotations today. So leave your notes out so you have a good example. Orange Circle group, come on up. You're starting with the game. Bring your notes. Bring a marker. Joey Dominic, where's the marker? Pink Square group, tear out page 115. You can get started.